Welcome back to JAFM Audio. I'm Frankie.
I'm James.
And today we are making our MLB MVP predictions today. We are about a third of the way through the season, and it's been an exciting season, don't you think?
Yeah, so a little bit over a third of the way through. You have some sort of idea of who is really the best players in the league right now, American National League. We may be in agreement on some. We may be in a disagreement on others.
Yeah, well, we'll see who we pick. I'm excited to know who you are predicting to be the National League MVP and the American League MVPs.
Yes.
So let's get straight into it. James, let's start with the National League. Who's your first pick, National League MVP?
So it's interesting. National League MVP. Let me tell you, it's pretty tight. You have a few players that are doing well, which we already knew they would. And then you have a few players that are, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but you have some players that are performing a little bit better than what they used to. So right now, for me, it's looking like Mookie Betts as the front runner for MVP.
Okay.
All right. It's top 3 in total bases, top 5 in batting average. He's number 2 in on-base percentage. Top 5 in slugging with a .506. He's batting .381 with runners in scoring position. He's batting .341 from the 7th inning or later. Mm-hmm. On top of that, he plays multiple positions. Right now, they have him at shortstop and second, but he can also play the outfield if needed. That's a player that I think is most valuable to a team. Who do you have for the National League?
Yeah, for my first pick, it was also Mookie Betts, which is funny you say that. His team's in first place in the National League West. He has a 3.6 WAR.
Yes.
Now, that's extremely good. That's, I think, top 5 in the league. That's about top 5 in the MLB. Now, Mookie Betts is having an incredible season to start. The thing is, can he sustain it? I hope so. I think he has an even better chance if the Dodgers can maintain first place going into the playoffs.
Right.
And yeah, I think Mookie probably right now at this point in the season has the best odds of winning National League MVP.
Yeah, my deal breaker was the defense, honestly, because there are some players who are doing better than him offensively, but the defense part of the game is big. You have Ohtani, who's doing really well. He's batting in the 320s, I believe. But he doesn't play the field. He's DH.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is playing the field. He's playing a high-demand position at shortstop. If he needs to be moved to the outfield, they can move him as well. And plus, he's doing it on the offensive side as well.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned his defense. He actually has a .962 fielding percentage at shortstop. So he's almost perfect through the season. He's showing up. He's playing multiple positions. He's doing amazing at shortstop right now. So if he can still maintain, a great fielding percentage, not make errors, make the right plays, and continue hitting the ball at a high level, I think he has a great shot at being the National League MVP.
Right. Let me ask you a question now. Maybe you had the same problem that I did. There were a few players that it was hard to really pass on them. Who do you have, like maybe runner-up or second runner-up?
All right, so my number 2.
Okay.
This is going to be a good one.
Okay.
I have Bryce Harper as my number 2. I
Okay.
mean, he's probably one of my favorite players in the MLB.
Okay.
I don't think my pick is biased at all. His team is first place in the National League East. They have the best record in baseball, 41-18. The Yankees right behind them, but Phillies best record in baseball as it stands, 41-18.
Yes.
He is batting a whopping .389 with runners in scoring position with a 1.204 OPS.
Very nice. Very nice.
He is a beast. And get this, James. This is my favorite one. .750 batting average with the bases loaded. Now, this guy, when you think of clutch, I think of Bryce Harper. Who else? This guy always comes through with runners in scoring position. You need a big hit. Who do you want at the plate? I'm picking Bryce Harper.
Harper's one of them.
I'm picking Bryce Harper. Now, I think he has a strong case for runner-up. If the Phillies can continue and finish first place in the National League, I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce Harper wins the National League MVP.
Right. And it wouldn't be the first time either.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. So I really, he's playing extremely well. I think my favorite attribute of Bryce Harper is his clutch moments. I mean, how many clips do we see Bryce Harper just hitting an insane walk-off home run, a home run to tie it, home run to go ahead late in games? I'm going with Bryce Harper as my number 2.
You know,
Who are you taking?
I had Harper. Harper was originally going to be my second pick. I mean, he could even be a first pick, to be honest with you. He's that good. But there's one player that I feel is actually carrying his team, and he's keeping his team in a division race with star players being down, and that's Marcell Ozuna.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Leads the National League in home runs, leads the National League in RBIs. He's batting .359 with runners in scoring position. He's batting .364, 7th inning or later. The guy has been clutch for the Atlanta Braves, as much as it kills me to say this because I'm not a big Braves fan. But he has been clutch, big moments, big home runs, been hitting for power, been hitting for average. And this is a team that now has an injury to Acuna Jr., who's gone for the season, has an injury to their ace, and he has kept them in the running. So they are in second place behind the Phillies, 7.5 games out, but he's keeping them alive in the standings.
Yeah, he's been having a beast of a season.
Yeah,
Ozuna.
He's been looking good.
That's a respectable number 2 pick.
Yeah, so we both agree on Mookie Betts as number 1 so far. You have Harper for 2.
Yes.
I have Ozuna for 2.
Oh, yes.
I guess either one of those guys can win MVP when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fairly, we're about a third of the way in the season. These guys all have a shot to win MVP.
Yeah.
Now, who's going to take it? Who do you think out of those 3 guys truly, do you think it depends on their team success or their individual success?
I think it's a matter of both, to be honest with you. I think if it looks like the Dodgers, the Padres are right with them, but it looks like the Dodgers might be the favorites to win that division. The Phillies, going into the season, they weren't the favorite to win that division. So Bryce Harper's going to get some votes just because of that. But we'll see when it all comes down to the end. We'll see.
Now, let's say this. Let's say the Dodgers win their division in the West. Phillies win the division in the East.
Right.
Let's say they finish with similar records. What does it come down to? Does it come down to individual stats? Does it come down to clutch hitting? Does it come down to the big plays being made? What is your tiebreaker, so to speak?
I think it comes down to the media guy who decides to vote. Who's either a Harper fan or a Betts fan.
Yeah.
Honestly, once again, it's going to be one of those things where it can go to either one. And listen, there's been times when it was questioned. The MVP race was questioned on who won, and it should have went to this guy, should have went to that guy. So it's going to come down to the wire with those guys. But at the end of the day, I think it's Mookie Betts to win the MVP.
So you heard it there first. Mookie Betts
is
our prediction for National League MVP. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. But now we're going to move on to American League. And James, I'll let you go first. I'm excited to hear who you have.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're going to like this one.
Oh, man, let's hear it.
I'm not even sure if I like it right now, but numbers don't lie. The truth are always in the numbers. And I like Soto. I like Judge. But there's one guy right now. I'm not sure if he's getting the recognition as the best player in the American League.
Now I'm very intrigued.
But his numbers sure as hell looks like it. And his name is Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay.
All right? He's first in the league with runs, with 52. I'm sorry. He's first in the league in runs with 52 in front of Soto and Judge. He's first in the league in hits with 74. Soto's in second place with 72. He's second in doubles with 16, behind Judge with 18. He's second in triples with 6. He's tied for fourth in RBIs. He's second in the league with 17 stolen bases. He has a .314 batting average, which is third in the AL. He's top 9 in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS. He's batting .361 with runners in scoring position, .348 when the score is tied, .330 following a team loss, a .973 fielding position at the most important position on the diamond, which is shortstop, I believe. He's the current WAR leader in the AL. And here's
what's his WAR?
3.9.
Okay. Wow, that's really good.
Yes. So, and this is not to take anything away from Soto and Judge.
Yeah.
Soto's my number 2. I think Judge will be number 3. This is my list.
Real quick, let's explain what WAR is, just for the viewers that might not know what WAR is.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay, so WAR, it stands for wins above replacement. So basically, if you were to replace them off the field, that's how many more wins or more
Right.
wins or less wins they would get.
Right, if you replace them with an average player, in the league,
Exactly.
right?
So I just want to throw that,
Yeah, but I think most people know what WAR is for the most part.
You never know.
Right.
But yeah.
But here's what's interesting. You ready? The WAR leader in 2023 was Ohtani, and he ended up winning the MVP. In 2022, do you know who led in WAR? Aaron Judge, and he ended up winning MVP. In 2021, do you know who led in WAR? I have it right here, Ohtani, and he ended up winning MVP. You got to go back to the COVID year, the COVID season, where they played, I think, 60 games or whatever it was, 80 games, and that was the last year that someone who didn't lead in WAR won an MVP in the American League. Right now, Bobby Witt Jr. leads in WAR, and I think he is the most valuable player to his team in the American League right now.
You think so? So,
Yes.
so that's your number one pick.
That's my number one pick. When you look at the overall roster, when you look at the Kansas City Royals in second place, they're chasing the Guardians to a red hot. And nothing up, Jose Ramirez is another guy who's up there.
So you don't think their record has an effect on his chances of winning?
They might.
They may be in second place in the division, but
Right.
they don't have as many wins as Phillies.
Right, but it looks like they will make the playoffs. If the way it stands
Definitely
now,
a
they'll make the
playoff team,
playoffs.
yeah.
And it's going to be because of him. Besides Salvador Perez on that roster, it's really hard to name another player on that roster. And that's my issue. I have Judge, I have Soto, they're playing together, they're back to back.
Yeah.
And then you have Bobby Witt Jr., who's doing it with Salvador Perez, who's a 35-year-old catcher. He's at the end of his career, and he's still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
And he's a great shortstop. And he's stealing bases. And he's playing great defense.
Yeah, he's having a B season. Like, he's doing really, really well this season.
Yes.
And that's an interesting first pick. I'm not going to lie. You definitely caught me by surprise with Bobby Witt Jr.
Did I really?
You did.
Good.
Of course you did. You ready for my number one pick?
I can take a guess.
I don't think you'd be surprised at all.
Go ahead.
Right now, as it stands today, I'm going with Aaron Judge for MVP. American League MVP, Aaron Judge today. If the season were to end today, I'm going Aaron Judge. This guy, the month of May, he's hitting .361 with a 1.397 OPS. He is smoking the baseball.
Yes.
This guy's as hot as can be. He is going crazy. His past few games, the past month, so to speak. His team has the best record in the American League, 41-19. If he keeps up at this pace, I don't think it's even close. I think he's winning MVP, unanimously. I don't even think it's close. It's funny you mentioned the WAR with Bobby Witt Jr. at a 3.9. Aaron Judge has a 3.7 WAR, right behind Bobby Witt Jr. So he's playing at an elevated level to where, historically speaking, he's good enough to win MVP this year. Hopefully he keeps it up. He has a 1,000 fielding percentage at his position at center field, no longer playing right field. He's not making errors. He's catching the ball. And the best part about it, he's hitting the ball. 21 home runs, 61 hits, 42 runs. If he can stay hot, he doesn't even have to be as hot as he's been.
He's been
month.
scorching.
He's hit a home run in how many games?
Every night.
Every night I feel like Judge is hitting a home run. Aaron Judge, if he keeps at this pace, or even just a little bit less, I think he's winning MVP easily this year. What are your thoughts?
That's a good pick. I mean, for the last 30 days, he has 15 home runs. It seems like every night he's hitting one. And they're not cheap shots either. But where the hell did he come from? I mean, honestly, all the month of April, he wasn't doing anything. We've had talks of maybe is he injured? He had an MRI in spring training. And then literally all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere.
He's hitting the ball.
He takes over the home run lead in the American League, in the whole league, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the second place guy, what is it? Gunnar Henderson has 17?
Yeah.
He's at 21, Judge. There's going to come a point where they stop pitching to that guy. And who's hitting behind him? Is it Stanton? Is it Rizzo? Is it Verdugo? They're going to have to perform because I wouldn't pitch to Judge.
Yeah.
You can have first and second, and I would pitch around Judge. That's how good he's been.
The problem is, can you? I mean, you have Volpe, who's also been very good, getting on, he's been getting on base a lot. Then you have Soto.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to pitch to that guy either.
Right. But
you don't want to, what are you going to walk the bases loaded to start every game?
I would probably, listen, if I have a runner on first, one out in the first inning and Judge is coming up, he's not seeing a pitch to hit. I'm telling you right now, I'll pitch around him, have Verdugo beat me, have Rizzo beat me. The guy's beating up on the ball right now. It's literally, what I've been seeing is quite amazing. And, you know, he came out of nowhere with it. He took him a while to get going, but he's going.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't stop. If he continues at this pace, James, an easy American League MVP, I don't think it's even a doubt.
Now the votes that go towards the Yankees is going to go because Soto's having himself a year, and that would be my runner-up.
And funny you say that. That's also my runner-up.
Yeah. So now those votes may cancel out each other when it comes to time now to win MVP.
I don't think so, James.
It's going to be interesting.
This is an interesting. I'm just going to throw this out here. What if we had co-MVPs for American League? What are the odds? Do you think that's possible this season? If Judge and Soto just continue to play at a high level, do you think it can happen?
I mean, I'm sure it could. I just think this lineup with Soto has changed. And I think it's proven now that he is the difference maker in this lineup.
So you have Soto over Judge in your Soto, okay.
Absolutely. Okay. When you see the lineup of listen, and granted, I'm not to say that Judge needs Soto. Soto doesn't need Judge. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for the last 3 to 4 years, we've watched this Yankee lineup.
Yeah.
And
Aaron Judge is one without Soto too.
He is, but he also leads the league in double plays. He bounces into double plays when he don't have protection. He's going up. I mean, these are all facts. You've seen him. We've seen him in the playoffs up against good pitching. They pitched around him. They didn't give him anything good to hit. He was chasing balls. We've seen it. This lineup now with Soto, and you compare it to the lineups of years past without Soto, you can literally see the difference. And that's what makes me pick Soto for MVP. So I truly believe without Juan Soto in this lineup, the Yankees might have 8 less wins. I truly believe that.
I mean, I also have Soto for runner-up. Soto does play a big role in the Yankee lineup. However, I think they just go hand in hand. I think Judge protects Soto. Soto does what he needs to do for Judge. They kind of protect each other in a way. Soto's batting second in the lineup. Judge is batting third. So, you don't want to give Soto a pitch to hit. But if you pitch around Soto, then you have to deal with Judge. And you don't want to walk 2 batters in a row. Right. So Judge, one of these guys is gonna get a pitch to hit every single at bat. Right. Easily.
And just look at before Judge got hot. Like literally the whole month of April, Yankees were performing. They were playing. And Judge was nowhere to be found. Judge was in the high 1s, the low 2s in batting average. Yankees still were in first place.
Yeah, but everyone was hot on the Yankees to start the season. Oswaldo Cabrera was on fire. Soto was doing really good. Now let's get into some stats with Soto.
Yes.
Soto is batting .388 with runners in scoring position. Excellent average with runners in scoring position. A 1.153 OPS with runners in scoring position. Now I want to touch on the subject. Only a 3.2 WAR. Now, do you think that's lower than Judge, lower than Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yeah.
Do you think that is going to factor into his...
It might, unless the last few weeks of the season, he just carries the Yankees into the playoffs. Let's say there's a race, Orioles, Yankees, and, there's a game or two that separates them, and Soto just goes on a tear and leads the Yankees past the Orioles and wins the division. Then you might say, okay, Soto won it out. And that's why I gave the nod to Bobby Witt Jr. also, because once again, he's doing it at shortstop. It's a position that you can't just throw somebody there. And listen, and I know the outfield positions are tough also.
Outfield is...
I get it. I get it. But let me tell you, if you have a weak fielder, someone you have, he can hit great, but you got to hide him somewhere in the field. Yeah. Where are you hiding him?
Right field.
Okay. I mean, let's be honest. So you have a shortstop who's top 5 in every statistical category on the offensive side of the ball, and he's also playing shortstop.
Yeah.
And he's also stealing bases. I mean, this guy impacts the game.
Yeah. It's pretty typical. I mean, we got 2 shortstops on the list in Mookie Betts and Bobby Witt Jr.
Yes.
Yes. That's very interesting.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's 2 shortstops on the list. I have, 1 shortstop, first baseman in Bryce Harper, and 2 outfielders for the American League. I mean, Soto, he's a beast. I think in a perfect world, if Aaron Judge and Juan Soto carry this Yankee team to first place and then a World Series on top of that, I don't see a reason why they both can't win MVP. Co-MVP on the same team, that would be an incredible story and an amazing, accomplishment by both of them.
I'm looking at their numbers now, just for the hell of it. Juan Soto's batting .319 on the year. Aaron Judge is still below 300.
Oh, he's creeping up.
He's creeping.
He's creeping up.
On base percentage, Juan Soto's at .416 behind profile in the whole league. In the American League, Juan Soto's number 1 in on base percentage. Aaron Judge is number 2. 1 and 2. Judge, Soto, slugging. On base plus slugging. Judge, Soto. Yeah, those guys are doing their thing.
That's a big 1-2 duo. I mean, if I can do 1A, 1B, 1A Judge, 1B Soto as it stands today, and you could even swap it 1A Soto, 1B Judge, vice versa. But those are my picks for the American League MVP. Let's see by the time the end of the year comes if we got any of these choices right.
Yes, we're definitely going to go back on them. I think we should do another episode in a few months also when we're like 3/4 of the season.
Yeah, like maybe after the All-Star break.
Maybe somebody creeps up and surprises. Who knows? You know, we have a lot of guys who are having good years. Jose Ramirez is another one that we didn't really mention much, but he has the Indians playing well. And that's another team, when you look at their roster, you really don't see all these stars.
Yeah.
But then they're always there. You know what I mean? I don't think they're better than the Yankees. I don't think they could beat the Yankees in the playoff series, truly. But you cannot ignore Jose Ramirez also. His numbers are spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular.
Yes.
As it stands, very close race right now as it stands for MVP on both sides, National League and American League. These are our early predictions. Let's see if we get them right. We'll come back and revisit maybe sometime after the All-Star break.
Sounds good.
Let us know your predictions. Did we miss somebody? Should someone be above or below on the list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah. Notable mention I have for MVP of the National League is Jeff McNeil. I think he's turned it on for the last week. And let's see what goes on with it. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, like he said, if you have your own idea of who should be MVP, if we missed somebody, if you think somebody's having a good year that we didn't mention, speak up.
Yes. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.